This isn't a story about power or punishment. It's about how quietly ignoring someone can reveal more about us than them.
The Marrow-Line building looked impressive from the outside, but anyone who worked inside it long enough knew appearances were deceptive. The glass facade reflected the city skyline like a mirror, clean and sharp, but inside, the building ran on systems that were aging quietly, elevators that needed regular calibration, HVAC units that hummed a little louder than they should, security protocols that relied more on routine than vigilance. The building belonged to a different class of people, not executives, not clients, the early shift. Evan Brooks had learned that in his first month on the job. The early shift was quieter, slower, and less forgiving. Mistakes weren't hidden by crowds, habits were exposed. Evan stood behind the main security desk, shoulders squared, posture practiced. He liked the desk. It gave him a sense of control. Cameras, monitors, access logs all flowed through him. He sipped his coffee and scanned the lobby. The cleaning staff moved like background noise, mostly unnoticed. A pair of contractors signed in. A courier waited near the coffee kiosk, checking his phone. And, as always, at exactly 6:12 a.m., the janitor emerged from the service corridor. Evan noticed him because he always noticed him. The man pushed his cart slowly, not dragging it, not rushing. The wheels never squeaked. Someone had clearly taken the time to oil them. The janitor's uniform was standard issue, navy blue, stitched name patch, but unlike most uniforms Evan saw, this one was pressed, not freshly pressed, maintained, like someone who respected habits. Evan didn't know the man's full name. The badge said S. Carter. Evan glanced at the clock, right on time. That, more than anything, annoyed him. Evan wouldn't have described himself as rude. He enforced rules. That was the job. If people interpreted that as an attitude, that wasn't his problem. Still, over time, patterns formed. The janitor never chatted, never lingered, never complained. When Evan spoke, the man listened. When Evan corrected him, he nodded. When Evan rushed him, he moved aside. It felt unbalanced. "You can't leave the cart there," Evan said one morning, gesturing vaguely toward the elevator bank without looking up. The janitor paused, adjusted the cart by a few inches. "Is this better?" Evan asked, irritated by the question. "Just don't block traffic." "I understand," the man said. Evan watched him walk away, spine straight, pace measured. Too calm, Evan thought. People who worked those jobs usually moved faster, more anxious, more eager to stay invisible. This man didn't seem invisible. He seemed contained. The dismissals were never verbal insults. They were smaller than that. Evan would sigh when the janitor approached the desk. He'd tap his pen while the man checked his clipboard. He'd interrupt him mid-sentence with, Yeah, just make it quick." Once, when the janitor asked about a locked maintenance closet on the 12th floor, Evan replied without looking up, "You don't have clearance for that. Stick to your checklist." The janitor didn't argue. He simply nodded, understood. Evan liked compliance. It kept things simple. What he didn't like was the way the man always seemed to notice things, the way his eyes lingered on access panels, the way he paused near elevators listening, the way he asked questions that suggested context, not ignorance. "Maintenance running early today?" the janitor asked. Evan frowned. "Why?" "Just curious," the man replied. Evan shrugged. "Probably doesn't concern you." The janitor smiled faintly, almost amused. "No, I suppose not." That smile stayed with Evan longer than it should have. The elevator inspection memo came through Evan's terminal 2 days before it happened. Routine systems check, minimal downtime, service elevators first. Evan skimmed it and clicked acknowledged. By the time inspection morning arrived, he'd forgotten most of the details. At 6:40 a.m., the lobby was still manageable. Employees arrived in twos and threes. Conversations echoed softly. The janitor pushed his cart toward the service elevator, clipboard under one arm. Evan glanced up. "Right elevator's offline today. I saw the notice," the janitor said. "Take the left." The janitor pressed the button. The elevator arrived quickly. As the doors opened, Evan noticed the cart heading inside. "Hold it," Evan said, stepping out behind the desk. The doors paused. "You can't take that cart during inspection. Protocol." The janitor hesitated. He looked at the cart, then at Evan. "I'll be brief. I just need to reach—" "Doesn't matter. Leave it here." The janitor considered this for a moment longer than Evan liked. Then he nodded. "All right." He stepped into the elevator alone. The doors closed. Evan returned to his desk, satisfied. 30 seconds later, the building shuddered, not enough to alarm anyone, but enough to notice. The elevator indicator flickered, then it froze. A chime echoed through the lobby. "Attention, elevator service interruption detected." Evan's stomach tightened. Maintenance confirmed the stall quickly. "Minor issue," the technician said over the phone. "Resetting the system now." "There's someone inside," Evan added. Pause. "There shouldn't be. I sent him up." Another pause. "Tell him to stay calm." Evan approached the elevator doors. Through the narrow seam, he could see the janitor standing, one hand resting lightly against the wall. He wasn't pacing. He wasn't panicking. Evan pressed the intercom. "Are you all right in there?" "Yes," the janitor replied. "We're resetting the system." "Understood." Evan hesitated. He should have waited. This is exactly why we follow procedures. The janitor looked up, eyes calm. "Procedures manage risk. They don't eliminate it." Evan frowned. "What's that supposed to mean?" "Nothing," the man replied. "Just observation." Evan stepped back, annoyed. 10 minutes passed, then 15. The lobby filled. Evan answered questions, redirected foot traffic, and checked his phone repeatedly. Then the call came. Not maintenance, operations. "The CEO is here," the voice said quietly. "Early. He wants eyes on the inspection." Evan felt his pulse spike. "He's coming down now." Evan glanced at the stalled elevator. Daniel Whitaker didn't announce himself when he entered the lobby. He didn't have to. The shift in energy did it for him. People straightened, voices lowered, movement became intentional. Whitaker approached the desk. "Morning." "Good morning, sir," Evan said, standing. "I hear we have an elevator issue?" "Yes, sir." Whitaker glanced towards elevator 3. "And someone is inside?" "Yes." "Who?" "Janitorial staff." Evan said. Whitaker frowned slightly. "During inspection?" "There was a misunderstanding." Whitaker nodded once. "Let's see." They walked together toward the elevator. Whitaker pressed the intercom. "Good morning." Inside, the janitor looked up. "Good morning, Daniel." The lobby went still. Evan's mouth went dry. Whitaker blinked, then exhaled through his nose. "Morning, Samuel." Evan stared. Whitaker didn't raise his voice, didn't explain immediately. "Everything okay?" "Fine," Sam replied. "System response time is slower than last quarter." Whitaker nodded, noted. He turned slightly towards Evan. "Samuel Carter, former operations director." Evan felt heat rise in his face. He retired, but stayed on part-time, keep an eye on things from the ground level. Sam smiled faintly inside the elevator. Best vantage point. The elevator chimed. The doors opened. Sam stepped out, uniform unchanged, clipboard in hand. Whitaker extended his hand. "Apologies for the inconvenience." "No inconvenience. Useful data."
They spoke quietly about maintenance logs and response protocols. Evan stood frozen. When Sam finally turned back towards Evan, there was no triumph in his expression, just calm. "You do your job seriously," Sam said. "That's good." Evan nodded, throat tight. "Just remember," Sam added, "not everything important looks important at first glance." The elevator doors closed. That afternoon, Evan noticed his own behavior, how quickly he assumed, how often he interrupted, how easily he was dismissed. The next morning at 6:12, when Sam pushed his cart into the lobby, Evan nodded, not because he knew who Sam was, but because he understood who he had been all along.